The poofy sleeves, the ill-fitting bodices, the gaudy colors. I'm sure we've all been to a wedding and wondered what on earth the bride was thinking when she chose her bridesmaid dresses. Luckily, bridesmaid attire has come a long way in recent years, but we still see the odd eyesore coming down the aisle. Here to help us understand what makes a smart and stylish fashion decision for those friends of the bride is award-winning fashion designer and stylist Diane Kroe. Diane, welcome to the Kelly Alexander Show.
Hi, Kelly. Thank you for having me.
Diane, if we could start off by, talking about what are some of the key elements that a smart summer bridesmaid dress should have?
Well, one thing I do always recommend is choose a wear again style. And that means like a style that you would actually wear again out for dinner, perhaps as a guest to another wedding. That way you will really get your money's worth out of your bridesmaid's dress, and you won't feel like you've spent without having something that you can use again. And then as far as summer looks, I would say shorter lengths and flowy fabrics are always nice for the summertime.
And I think something that ends up being a hotly debated topic is, should bridesmaid dresses match?
I don't necessarily think that is very important. I think they should look like they belong together or tell a story. For example, if they were all in the same color or same fabric, but perhaps with different necklines and different cuts, that would be ideal because everybody has a different body type, so it's always important to always consider everyone's different shape and style. Yeah, and I also just felt like if they don't go with the same colors, then they should use colors from the same color palette, such as maybe oranges and yellows and so on, or blues and turquoises.
And I think that, it's evident to a lot of people that certain styles flatter certain body types. But is there like a classic go-to style that brides can be sure are going to fit, both their pear-shaped and their top-heavy friends?
Yes. There's a design that's out on the market. It's called an infinity dress, or it could be called a convertible dress also. There's many different versions of it. And it's a dress that can be worn many different ways. Each girl can adjust it to her own body type. It can be worn with sleeves, it can be worn strapless, halter style, and so on. And that's called a convertible dress or an infinity dress.
Diane, if we've tried all kinds of gentle persuasion and our bride friend is still convinced that, that oversized bow and hot pink is the way to go, what can we do? Is there any way to salvage, that bad bridesmaid's dress?
Well, I would suggest if it's really important to have big bows and so on the actual dress, it's sometimes nice to have them detachable so that the bridesmaid can actually easily remove it, like as if it were on a sash or somehow pinned onto the item. But if it's already sewn on and it's permanent, sometimes you can take it to a seamstress and they can help you recreate the dress if you give them, some ideas of what you would like, and if it's within reasonable options with the design.
Joining us on the show is award-winning fashion designer and stylist Diane Kroe. Make sure to check out her website, dianekroe.com, and that's Kroe. What are some of the hottest trends that people should be on the lookout for in bridesmaids' dresses for the 2012 season?
Well, I'm finding that overlay, I'm seeing a lot of that where there would be like two fabrics involved, one as a solid and then the other fabric laying over, which would be like a lace or a mesh fabric. That's a trend that I see quite a bit right now, where also lace overlays are really pretty with satin sashes, and I'm seeing bubble dresses and bubble skirts, and that would be like sort of hemlines that are unique and different, and also embellishments on the hemlines. I'm seeing quite a bit of that too.
And with regards to trends, should a bride get caught up in that, meaning like, this is 2012, it should be this, or is there always, some kind of classic middle of the road thing they could be doing not to be too trendy?
Yeah, I always say don't go too trendy because it will date your picture. So you don't want to have to pull out your picture 10 years from now and be looking at some sort of odd-looking dress. Or, for example, right now the one-shoulder dresses are quite popular, but in 10 years from now they'll be quite passé. So I would stick with nice classic cuts. A nice scoop neckline or a shift dress is always a good choice. Something that doesn't tend to be too trendy and would be more of a classic design.
And I suppose it matters where you are in the world, but are there better fabrics for summer wedding attire depending on where you are?
Yes. I would say if you're traveling, go with a nice lightweight jersey fabric, something that doesn't wrinkle, that's easy care, that will just come out of a suitcase without a problem. You don't have to worry about steaming. And if the wedding is close to home, then I would go with something, a nice lightweight chiffon. Nice silk chiffons are beautiful. Something flowy. Those are usually beautiful fabrics for the summertime.
How important are accessories, for the bridesmaid's dress? Like, is this where you can maybe, pull yourself apart or set yourself apart from the group a little bit without it being too obtuse?
Well, I'm always a less is more kind of girl. Like, I prefer minimal accessories. I just find that the bride needs to shine, and I think if the girls are all very sparkly, it sort of takes away from the bride. But as far as accessories, perhaps maybe just a nice simple bracelet or necklace would be nice, or like a simple earring. But I wouldn't get too caught up in very flashy jewelry at all.
And, footwear, I know that that's always a bone of contention because, you're in these dresses for X amount of hours and you got pictures to take and all that sort of stuff. And in your opinion, Diane, is it okay once pictures are over and you're sort of into the reception, depending on how your gown fits you, would it be okay to change into better footwear for the evening?
Yes, I think that would be fine. There are these great little slippers that are out on the market that just fit into your purse. And I think that once all the photos are over and so on, it would be nice to put on a little pair of ballet flats, just because at the end of the day, when all the work is done, the girls want to have a good time. And I'm sure the high heel shoes will be pretty uncomfortable after a long day.
And for those of us who are going to be attending, a summer wedding, can we enjoy, and we get to enjoy the luxury of choosing our own outfit? What should we be keeping in mind attending summer weddings this year?
Well, I think, again, you want to choose a design that you could wear again. I always find that that's really important because you really want to have a deeper purchase. You don't want to buy just for only for the one-day event. And I would stick to classic colors like red, black, fuchsia, turquoises, colors that tend to not be too dated. And then always choose designs that flatter your assets and camouflage your faults. That's always the secret.
Is there a secret to finding a style that is modern and youthful but age appropriate? Because there's always someone at the wedding that looks ridiculous.
Always. Well, again, it's back to focus on your assets. Like if you have great legs, then show them off. But if you need to hide your tummy, then pick a dress that's appropriate, that would have ruching through the waistline and so on. If you have fuller hips or a fuller bust line, it's always nice to draw attention to your face by having a nice off-shoulder or soft-shouldered dress and wear a beautiful piece of jewelry to bring the eye up to your face and so on.
Now, you have an award-winning travel collection. For those of us who are going to be traveling for weddings this summer, what kind of dresses should we pack?
Well, I always recommend my reversible resort dress. It's always been very popular for people traveling to weddings. The reason being is there's usually a dinner before the wedding, and then there's a brunch after the wedding. Especially for destination weddings, people tend to do quite a few different things throughout the time they're at the destination. So the resort dress is like a printed sundress on one side, and then it's a little black cocktail dress on the other, and then it can also be worn as a skirt too. So you can get lots of different looks from it, but yet just have one garment. So you just need to bring a few accessories with you and a bathing suit.
And where can people actually get a hold of your collections?
That would be on my website at dianekroe.com. And I have a detailed, each design is detailed on the website, and you can see all the different looks from each style.
And I guess what would be your major or your main piece of advice for brides and bridesmaids, you know, as they go about trying to figure out what they're going to wear and how they're going to be as a unit?
Well, you know, I always found when I had my retail store, I did a lot of wedding parties, and there's always one girl who doesn't like the dress. It just seems, you know, it's inevitable. You know, I would go back to the infinity dress or convertible dresses, because that way each girl can wear it a way that suits her body type the best. The dresses all look nice together, even though everyone will have it on in a different way. And that's my recommendation, is just, you know, pick a dress that can be worn, have a few different looks so that everybody's happy.
Fantastic. Well, Diane, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Well, you're very welcome.
That was award-winning fashion designer and stylist Diane Kroe. Again, make sure to check out her website, dianekroe.com, and that's Kroe.